Hi all, welcome to the channel, welcome to the workshop. We have the next installment of Mallard Monday. So we are now on issue 16 of Build the Mallard. And although I do have the body on the workbench, we're not really doing anything with that at all. We're just concentrating today on the cab roof. So without further ado, let's get building. Okay, so here we are, stage 16. And as usual, I'll give you a quick flick through the magazine. So as you can see, these are the parts we've got today. So we've got the cab roof and a small set of brass pieces. And we're just basically going to be adding some details to that cab roof. As I say, we do need the body, but only to check the fitment of the cab roof. We're not actually doing anything else other than that. We've got a couple more details to go on the inside of the cab roof, and then we're finished up with that, basically. We've also got Britain's Railways this week. And we'll finish off with classic locomotives. So what I've done, I've taken the parts out of the fret that we actually need. So there are still quite a few fret parts left on here, as you can see. We're not doing anything with any of those this time. We're also not doing anything with this little plastic piece. Plastic sort of card. Feels a bit like electrical tape. But we're not doing anything for that bit. And we're also not doing anything with this piece this time around. So all those to one side. We're only concentrating on the parts we have here. So the first thing we're going to do, we've got the cab roof. Now this has a little chamfer and a lip here. Now, first thing we've been asked to do is basically put it on a bit of flat emery paper, or wet and dry, and we basically just got to sand that down until this chamfer pretty much disappears. So you've got the little lip there. So we've got about, I don't know, a millimetre or two to sand that down. Basically, we're looking to make that come to a bit of a knife edge, I guess. So yeah, I'm going to spend the next few minutes doing that, and I'm not going to make you watch it. But basically, all I'm going to do is keep sanding away, just like that. Now, I am doing it on 180 grit to hopefully make it a little bit quicker for myself, but I'm just going to sand it away until that lip is no longer there. I will just show you that in the magazine, because they do have a nice little demonstration there. As you can see, you've got the lip on there, and on this one, you don't. And then you've got to just make sure that corner is nicely rounded. Okay, so as you can see, we've now got that edge nicely knife edge there. I've also just rounded off these corners just using the emery board, like so. So that's just a case of taking off a little bit of the thickness there. So that is looking just like so. Right, so now we've got that sorted. We are just going to test this to fit and see how it fits on to the cab. And I think it goes just there. Just having a look how it fits with the shape of the cab. So we've got the front looking like that. And I'd say that's a fairly good fit. So I'm happy with that. If we found that it didn't fit very well, we are instructed that we can just give it a bit of a tweak and a bend, and just to get that to fit nicely on there, like so. But I'm really happy with that fit, so I'm not going to worry about that. So we'll put the engine to one side because we don't need that anymore. Right, so what we have here, we have two roof vents that look like this, and we've also got what I think is a rain guard or rain strip, which I can't pick up. The rain strip that look just like that. Now it is actually etched. You can just about see that on camera. Right, so first up, what we're going to do is we're going to put one of these little doors on here. Now, the position is going to be where the rivets are. So we've got it along these set of rivets, but the two ends are going to sit between these sets of rivets here. Now, we do obviously need to bend that so that it matches the curve. And I'm just going to use my file here and just gently rock it over this file because it only needs a gentle bend. But rocking it over this file should give us that bend. Just a little bit of force on it. So as you can see, we've got a nice gentle curvature there. I'm just going to place it back on here and check it for fit. See, making sure it is in the correct place. Like so. You can see that fits really, really well now. I'm just going to make sure that is flush with the edge there. And then I'm just going to stick a bit of glue on there. And hopefully it will stay in place. So one in place. I'm going to do the same thing for the other side. Again, just going to roll it around on top of my file just to give it a bit of a bend. Do a quick test fit just to check that we've got the shape correct. And we do. And I'm just going to take off a little bit of this excess from the fret. That's better. And again, it's going to go in a similar position. So along, we've got these rivets here, and then we've got a gap, which this leg goes into, 3 rivets, and then the next gap, we've got that other leg going into. And again, that is just going to sit flush with the back there. And again, just going to run a bit of glue around the outside, and that will seep in under and hold that in place. And that is perfect. Right, still keeping with the roof there. We have the, I think they're gutters, they're rain gutters. Just going to tidy up the end where it was in the fret. Now, I don't know if you can see this on camera, but we've got one edge that's actually at the matching angle for the front of the cab. So obviously we do need to make sure that they do go on the correct way round. So there is a right and a left, just based on that shape alone. Like this. Now these, again, have a position, and they're going in between the very last 2 rivets you see on the edge there. So it's just going to sit just like so. And again, I'm just going to hold that in place, and I'm going to run a little bit of glue down the edge. So that's one. Going to do the same thing for the other side. Again, same position. So between those last two rivets on the cab, and we're lining up the front like so, just so that it looks straight. And just again, just running a line of super glue just along there, and that will seep under and hold it in place. Now, you may notice that the cab is looking a little bit shinier than what it was at the very beginning of the video. It's been sat around for a little while, so what I've done, I've just used a bit of emery paper just to give the top a good clean, just to ensure that these parts do adhere really well. As you can see, that is that. Now, we've only got one more bit to do, which is this piece here, and that's going on the underside, so on the inside of the cab. And you can obviously tell which way this is going to go around from its shape. So we're just going to match that shape up like so. And this is so soft that it will just bend round really nicely, and you can position that quite nicely like so. Now, see, it is quite a large area. So what I am going to do on this one, I am just going to run the super glue first, just so we've got a nice bonding surface, at least for these parts here. Now, obviously, this does make it a little bit trickier. You do have to work a little bit quicker and make sure it's lined up nicely, which is why I'm not putting lots of glue on, but just enough to give it that surface a bit of a bonding. Now, I do realise that the camera is a little bit far away for this bit, but I can't really do it up in the air, unfortunately. Right, so let's show you this bit, that it's down in place there. Now, see, we didn't run glue all around this, so what I'm going to do now is just run a bead of glue all around the edge. That'll seep under the rest of the part and ensure that doesn't come out again. So we've now got that fully in place like so. We have the doors on the top, along with the rain gutters, and that is all there is to do in this issue. So let's just bring the engine over, and we will just gently position that on there. So that is looking absolutely brilliant. And if I show you that way, so as I said, that is it for this issue. Remember, we do have these parts left over, including this piece. Now, I haven't looked ahead, so I don't know at what point we use these. It may or may not be next week, but we'll just put them to one side. We will keep them in the bag, labelled 16, so that when it comes to using these parts, we know exactly where they are and what they're for. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please remember to give me a big thumbs up. So, not much to do today, but just putting the cab roof on top of the cab like that, it does make it a lot better. It looks like it's almost finished, but obviously we have still got a long way to go. if you want to see more of that, then please remember to hit that subscribe button and ding that bell. Then you'll be notified when I release a new video. Now, as I've said before, that this magazine partwork is no longer available. However, I believe there is a very similar kit available from a company called DJH Models, and I have linked them in the description below. So please do pop along and have a look at that. They've got many brilliant models, and I think this was based on one of their kits. It has obviously been adapted a little bit for mass market, for a magazine subscription, but I believe there's quite a bit that's still very similar. So until next time, I'll hopefully see you around. Cheers!